secret documents on how to fix the Detroit public schools. Tonight, the 7 investigators are exposing what state officials apparently didn't want you to see.
DPS transition manager Judge Stephen Rhodes sought expert advice on how to prevent the embattled district from plunging into bankruptcy.
But the state did not follow that advice. And 7 investigator Jim Kirchner tells us it's all been kept under wraps until now.
Here are the documents. Even Judge Rhodes called some of what's in here alarming. He did share these with the state treasurer and the governor, but not parents, not teachers, not taxpayers, the ones these affect the most.
They've been operating a clandestine and shadow government without any transparency.
That's the reaction from the man who calls himself the school board president in exile because he has no power. For the next 6 months, retired bankruptcy judge Stephen Rhodes is running DPS, a job he may regret taking after retiring from federal bankruptcy court. His last case presiding over the Detroit City bankruptcy, the largest in U.S. history. Rhodes sought and got free turnaround advice from Al Koch in Alex Partners, who, along with a small group of experts, took a close look at DPS operations. In March, Koch wrote Rhodes a bleak email that says, "The state of the district's accounting and other systems are largely in the same shape as was the case with the city. There is no monthly close of the books, and it will be several months following the close of the year before you know what the actual deficit will be." Judge Rhodes immediately writes to State Treasurer Nick Curry. "Nick, I just got this alarming report from Al Koch at Alex Partners. Are you in Detroit tomorrow or Friday to discuss this?"
Unlike Detroit, the Detroit Public Schools has been operated by the state of Michigan for the last 7 consecutive years and for 15 of the last 17 years.
They're playing loose and free with taxpayer money.
Big money. The state legislature approved $617 million to keep DPS from going bankrupt. That includes $150 million to split into 2 districts, old DPS and the new Community School District, CSD. Critics say that's a huge waste and could be spent on educating Detroit's 45,000 students. The experts seem to agree. It's an action that we believe should be avoided, if at all possible, to do so. This was never made public. Those consultants also submitted 3 pages, dozens of expensive legal items to do for the new district.
I'm astounded by it because, first of all, this whole system should be run with transparency.
We wanted to talk with Judge Rhodes, but he declined. We got 2 statements that said, Alex Partners, and all community volunteers provided valuable services to the district entirely pro bono. No one was paid a dime. And the governor's office and the Michigan Department of Treasury made those decisions over a year ago, before Rhodes took office. These internal documents were obtained by parent and activist Robert Davis. You remember him. He's been doing these document lawsuits for years until he pleaded guilty to embezzling $200,000 from the Highland Park schools. He got out of federal prison this spring.
This power-hungry governor is being allowed to mislead the citizens of the city of Detroit and the citizens of the state of Michigan. And I hope and I pray that Judge Rhodes stand up and say enough is enough.
We also got this statement. The governor's office was aware of differing opinions on how to remedy the financial and academic failures in Detroit public schools. It was determined that the method the state went with, splitting DPS into 2, was the best option for the district, the families of Detroit that it serves, and the state as a whole. There was no response from Judge Rhodes why the negative recommendations he received were not made public. The lawsuit for an injunction to block the changes is seeking an immediate hearing. Jim Kirchner, 7 Action News.
Boy, we'll be following that one for sure. But right now, let's